Hello, everybody, and welcome to the very first episode of Those Two Comic Book Guys. I'm your host, Andy, aka the Super Guy, and sitting next to me here is my best friend and co-host, Corey.
How's it going, guys?
We've been friends for about 5 years now. We're both huge comic, horror, and sci-fi geeks. Love Star Wars. We're huge Trekkies. He loves Lord of the Rings, and I enjoy it for what it is. Not for what it is, but I enjoy the Lord of the Rings. I'm more of a Star Wars and Star Trek guy. When it comes to epic novels, I'm more of a Dark Tower guy. But that's beside the point. But this is our first episode of our podcast. Those Two Comic Book Guys. We've been talking about doing this for a while, haven't we?
Yeah, it's pretty. Probably starting like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
We should do one of those things.
Yeah, there's those popular people and do podcasts, and now we're like the cool kids. We have a podcast now. So this podcast, just for those of you who don't know, which is all of you because it's the first episode, this podcast is going to cover basically mainly comic books. That's going to be like 95% of our content. But we will also talk about horror movies. We will also talk about sci-fi, monster movies. Like when we get more Godzilla news, we'll talk about that. We'll obviously be talking about Star Wars a lot because the new movie's coming out. It's going to be awesome. And we can talk about all different kinds of pop culture geeky stuff. So if that's what you like, I think you'll like this podcast. Hopefully, yeah. If you don't, that is totally your choice. I have no control over that. Anyway, we figured for our first episode, we could talk about a pretty anticipated comic book movie that's coming out that nobody really ever thought would come out, which is, of course, Deadpool.
Yeah.
We've been getting a lot of news on it recently. We recently, on April Fool's Day, had that hilarious video where he basically kills the interviewer and announces
Mario Lopez.
Yeah, I think it was Mario Lopez,
yeah.
And he announces that the movie is going to be rated R, which is awesome. Like that is just, and a PG-13 Deadpool could work, but
yeah,
it's Deadpool. It needs to be rated R, you know.
Like out of a lot of the comic movies coming out, this seems like probably the most accurate. Just even the costume looks probably it might be the most accurate comic costume that we've seen so far. Have we? Does he have the belt buckle that has the Deadpool thing on it?
Yeah, his belt buckle does have Deadpool on it.
Yeah, I forgot to check for that. I didn't notice it when I was looking at it. But yeah, it's R rating, which is pretty cool.
It's gonna be awesome. That suit is amazing. Like, it's legitimately.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And I was saying this to you before we started recording. Deadpool always breaks the fourth wall, and he always makes fun of stuff. Like, he makes fun of Marvel and all them for... He'll just make fun of Marvel characters, and he'll talk about some cliches in the comic book world. And I really hope that this movie, that Fox has the guts to let Deadpool make fun of them.
Yeah.
You know? I really hope Fox lets Deadpool make fun of them. Because, let's face it, Fox is no Marvel Cinematic Universe. I particularly love most of their movies. Like, especially since First Class, then Wolverine, and Days of Future Past.
Even X-Men 3, I don't hate.
Yeah, it's okay.
You don't hate it either. Yeah, it's fine.
X-Men 3 is... X-Men Origins Wolverine is the worst... One of the worst comic book movies ever made.
Yeah.
There's no denying it.
It's
but
stupid.
X-Men 3 is one of those ones where you're like, well, it is what it is. It's not that
I guess
bad.
It's just really disappointing for the time, but looking back on it, they're not very consistent with the characters that they're using. They just go back and forth, and there's even characters that don't even finish their story arcs that they're set up with. But overall, it's not a bad watch.
Yeah,
but
they royally screwed up the Dark Phoenix saga. But at the same time, at that time they were making it, they could never have done the Dark Phoenix saga because it was back in the day of like, well, this is a comic book, but it's also a movie, so we gotta make it good. We gotta make it approachable to the masses. But this was before Marvel Studios came along.
Yeah, but at the same time, the Dark Phoenix saga is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's
like
insane.
Yeah, she goes and eats like suns.
And it is a legendary comic book story. Do not get us wrong. We love it, right? Like,
yeah,
I
and the
love
setup
it.
to that is like it would not fit.
Yeah, you like
it's so
the Hellfire
confusing.
Club.
The Hellfire Club. Oh, it's because she was reincarnated, right? And she had all this power. The Hellfire Club. Did I say club?
Yeah.
Initiated.
Just roll with it. Just go.
Yeah, like the power. In her brain, and it was like too much for one mortal to handle or something. So she ends up going. It's all confusing.
Yeah, it's one of those things. To be honest, one thing I think her death is much more dramatic in the movie than the comic, because she's pouring off all the energy, and Wolverine's the only one that could get. I mean, it would probably be better if Cyclops was super far away, and they're like, "You're the only one who can hit her, Cyclops. So take her down."
But they don't care about Cyclops.
Yeah, Cyclops gets screwed up. The X-Men Apocalypse will probably fix that. Hopefully.
Yeah, I want to see.
Like I said,
Cyclops.
First Class ushered us into an era where, ushered Fox into an era where they're like, "Oh, we can make a comic book movie." You know, like they're like, "Oh, we can really do like a comic book tone." You know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's more like Origins Wolverine was sort of the last straw of that ever declining X-Men franchise. Like, it starts at X-Men, awesome, goes to X2, and it gets even better. Then it goes to X3, and you're like, well, this is fine. And then it goes to X-Men Origins Wolverine, and you're like, reboot!
Yep.
You're like, reboot! And that's sort of what they did in continuity, though, with First Class. The Wolverine, second one from 2013, is awesome. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, I really like it. Third act problems, but overall pretty good.
Well, it goes from Christopher Nolan to Sam Raimi.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with either of those two tones, but when the first two acts are Christopher Nolan and the third act is Sam Raimi, it doesn't gel.
No.
It doesn't gel. They should have gotten someone who's in between that. Zack Snyder? Zack Snyder's
no.
A little.
I think Zack Snyder.
John Favreau's Iron Man.
Okay, yeah.
Is in between Sam Raimi. I guess you could say Captain America: The First Avenger.
Winter Soldier.
The Winter Soldier's serious, though, is what I'm saying. Like, it's a super serious. I'm talking about one that has like a ton of fun in it.
Yeah.
Not that the Winter Soldier wasn't fun, but that's a pretty intense movie.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, First Avenger is more lighthearted, but man, we got off Deadpool fast. But yeah, well, we're just giving you a summary of the X-Men franchise up till now. So then they got to Days of Future Past, which is amazing. Arguably the best X-Men film. I think it's the best X-Men film.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I know there are a lot of people who are like, First Class is better, and that's totally legitimate. People are like, X2 is better, that's a totally legitimate argument. But, Days of Future Past was one of those ones where I'm like, okay, we're going to get some awesome X-Men now. You know what I mean? Like, this is going to be amazing.
And that was kind of the actual reboot. Semi-reboot for the franchise.
It was the Star Trek 2009 of X-Men.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. It was the Star Trek, because it even had time travel. And of course,
now they're doing that with Terminator Genesis.
Yeah. Oh, don't even get me started on that's going to be good. It remains to be seen whether it's going to be good or not.
I have hope.
It'll be good. But yeah, we can't. We're going to get even farther off topic.
Yeah.
But,
okay, let's not go into Terminator.
Now, we're going to skip over the Fantastic Four reboot. We'll do another video on that. Because even though they're probably going to be in a shared cinematic universe, we're just going to stick to the X-Men movies right now. So now we hit Deadpool. The purpose that we are making this video, the purpose of this episode anyway.
Which we took 9 minutes to get to.
9.5 minutes to get to. It's okay. Keep it rolling. People will probably stop listening by now, but it's okay. It's okay. This is the internet. You can talk forever. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it's the internet. You can talk forever. That is your right. But now we're on Deadpool, which looks to be this is without a doubt the most comic accurate movie Fox has ever made.
Yeah, it is.
Just from that test footage alone, and
which I'm really surprised. Because Fox is really stingy on doing a lot of the things, and I think it might even be Bryan Singer, like how he started it being all like, oh, we can't do the costumes, we have to do leather suits, which I mean everybody's all upset about.
But they had to. It was like
Yeah,
2000.
that's true, and I mean, there's been attempts to make the X-Men franchise more like even like at the end of the Wolverine, the alternative ending.
Where he gets the suit.
Yeah, he gets a yellow suit,
which he needs to wear in the next one. It's Hugh Jackman's last movie,
yeah, I was
for
just thinking
God's
that.
sake.
Yeah, they need. That's the time they have to do it. They have to do it at the
They
last time.
absolutely have to do that suit. But this Deadpool suit, by the way, Hugh Jackman needs the cameo in Deadpool.
Yeah, I think he is.
I know everybody goes, Wolverine's and everybody, but it's, come on, it's Hugh Jackman.
I wonder if it's going to be like a Thor the Dark World type cameo.
That'd be
with,
amazing.
Captain America, yeah.
That'd be amazing. There's a scene in the Deadpool game where Wolverine is knocked out and Deadpool's trying to slap him awake, and he's saying stuff like, that's because the player keeps hitting the button. That's because I like slapping things with his hand. That's for not taking me to the prom. You know, that's for making me love you. That's for making me hate you. So if there's a scene like that, that would be amazing, of just like Hugh Jackman having, because that guy has the best attitude about everything. You know what I mean?
Hugh Jackman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he loves, even when he's like making fun of himself, like where you see him on the Tonight Show or whatever. That guy is just the nicest guy, and he has the best attitude. So it'd be amazing to see him sort of have a fun attitude in Deadpool of like, yeah, we can make fun of Wolverine. But that'd be amazing if like Deadpool's trying to slap him away. Even if they just completely copy the scene from the game. If they have him slapping him awake and he just says like, that's because the audience keeps laughing at this or something like that.
Which hopefully they are, or it will be just
awkward.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's going to be a badass movie, man. It's going to be great. I'm so excited. Who do you think the villain's going to be?
Shoot. I don't know.
Yeah, and I've read Deadpool, and I've read Deadpool, but I still can't figure out who the villain's going to be. Like, that's a hard one. It'll probably be some, like, fourth-rate X-Men villain or something like that.
Maybe it's Marvel Studios as a villain in this.
That would be amazing. That would be a great that's actually a really good idea. If he's like hunting down Kevin Feige, and Kevin Feige plays Kevin Feige.
Okay, yeah.
And like if Kevin Feige had like such a good attitude, actually, that would be a great way to sort of mend ties with Marvel Studios and Fox. Like they're like, you want to appear in this, and then they're like good friends again. Like that would be amazing if like Deadpool's hunting down Kevin Feige because he thinks he's the one that's keeping him out of the MCU. He gets there and Kevin Feige goes, no, we want you in here. Why do you think we're doing Inhumans? Because we don't have X-Men. And then Deadpool is just like, oh. And then the last 20 seconds of the movie are just him, a montage of him just shooting up Fox Studios. The more I think about this, the more this movie's going to be amazing.
Yeah, me too.
I love the release date.
Yeah, February. Yeah, that's a good release date. Like something cool in February finally. And I'm glad that like everybody involved with this seems really passionate. The director, what's the director's name again?
Tim Miller.
I
think
was
that's
say Tim Story, that director.
No, that's the Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
no,
way different.
That's a way different guy.
Yeah. Yeah, and Ryan Reynolds is really passionate about it too. Like he was the one that was really pushing for that R rating, which is awesome to see.
Yeah.
Like, even the star of the movie being like, "Hey, we should have this movie R rated."
Yeah, and it's just I love that Fox is doing spin-offs for the X-Men, but they're not trying to make them into huge blockbusters. Like they put out Deadpool in February, and they put out Gambit in October.
I don't know.
Not that they don't want them to be big, but they're not going to be like, this is the next Avengers or anything like that.
Yeah, like they cast one good actor, like not good. I mean, I'm not saying one good actor, but one big star in it, and then they then they release it whenever they want and say, okay, this could be like another one of those early year releases that some people go and see.
Yeah. Oh man, Gambit, that's a whole nother can of worms, man.
Yeah.